The Bible says in the book of 1 Corinthians that the body is fitly joined together, meaning that if you look at x-rays, how that bones come together and they meet and they match in a correct form. Paul said that the church is like that. It is a body that is fitly joined together. You can't have the leg up here where the arm's got to be. It won't work that way. Congress right now is not a body that is fitly joined together. In fact, it has very little purpose, and it can't move because it's not fitly joined together. They're not moving together. The pieces don't work together, and they don't work apart. So they've made themselves non-essential. The government has used this term since COVID-19 started of what is essential and not essential. Well, my take on that is if you're walking around at Lowe's in the middle of the afternoon and there's 1,000 people in there, Lowe's must be essential. On the other hand, trying to get my wife's eyeglasses the other day, we could not get in. We sat on the parking lot. They showed them to her from her own rearview mirror in the car because no one could go inside because they were deemed not essential, so no one could go in there. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and I understand there's just too many scenarios to get it all right. But to be considered non-essential is a bad thing. Governor of Indiana recently, this past week, said churches are not essential and they can only meet with 10 people, no communion, no any other thing, must be 10 people, social distance, and yet Walmart just doesn't seem to have that problem. COVID-19 it has brought out some of the most unusual inconsistencies in leadership that we have ever seen. To be considered non-essential, though, is more of a condemnation on the church than it is a state judgment. We need to make a difference in our culture. We need to be at the forefront. The American church must have a place at the table in order to help our country return to its normalcy. Non-essential personnel, those who have to leave the room when something important is going on. That's usually when the children have to hit the room or leave the room. So I don't want to be considered non-essential personnel. I want to be where the action is. I want to be where decisions are being made. This is Bob Shelton.